Did AMSA's academics prepare you for college?
Yeah. It is really good to go here. I'm going to be honest. So I am very English focused, both here and then in college. I write a lot of papers, do a lot of reading. If you take an AP English course here, you can do your college writing very easily. I'm going to be honest. It's great. I don't really do much math in college, but it's very helpful.
The interesting thing about AMSA is I'm not a very math and science person in general, and the fact that AMSA kind of forces you to focus on math and science in addition to having a lot of other, like a great history department and just like a lot of different things that you can focus on within, while also getting that sort of advanced math and science in there, has been really interesting in college. And I've also not done a ton of math, but like just having that baseline of like understanding of math and science is really good to have. And if AMSA has helped you figure out how to study and how to take notes, that's going to be really helpful in college.
I was just going to say that it's a lot more than just the content of the class. It's about skills, which I think was touched on before. AMSA does a really good job of, like teaching you how to write, proper grammar, things like how to think critically, how to work in a team, all these skills that are going to apply to literally any class you take. You're going to need to know how to write coherently and clearly so that you can convey what you want to say. Even if you're just sending an email to your professor, you're going to need that. You're going to need to know how to work in a team because every single person I know is in a group project at all times. You need to know how to think critically and analytically. I use it all the time, even though AMSA didn't offer any classes in arts management or digital marketing, and I think has one, maybe more now, but one at the time, creative writing class. It didn't apply to my major, but I use it constantly.
As somebody who did do science and math in college, AMSA really prepares you. You know, when you're in the thick of it, and like, especially like 8th grade, I remember that being a terrible time because you're doing all of the sciences and you just don't know how you're gonna manage anything. But remember, not everybody is getting that sort of education. When I got to college, being in lectures that, like my calculus lecture was 100, 200 people, you're not always gonna have the professor's time, you're not always going to get the TA's time, but you guys have the understanding, the fundamentals, and you're going to be able to do it on your own, those intro courses. And it's just like you have to remember that not all public schools across the United States are getting that sort of same level of education. You're told time and time again, but when you get to college, you'll really see it, and you'll be so thankful that you did several hours of homework each night just to pass a class and keep good grades. So,
honestly, in terms of, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure I took like 13 or 12 or something classes in senior year, which was like insane. That's not, in college, you're probably taking 6 or something, but the fact that we've gone through that, like, taking 4 sciences on top of everything else stage makes everything makes you get a little bit ahead in college. Like, you've known how to do all of these things at once. You know how to multitask. And that comes in really handy if you are running a club or working a job in addition to the classes that you're taking in college.
As someone in a science field, I am a double major in engineering. I think AMSA does a really good job at just giving you a lot of skills that you're able to use to market yourself. So shout out to Mr. Morris in the back. I learned CAD before most people in any of my classes. Shout out to Ms. Grandaro. I learned how to code before most people in any of my classes. Things that you are ahead of the ball for everything that you're going to need in those science classes. You are already ahead of the game. And mostly because we are a smaller school, the most important thing, at least to me, if you're going to be an engineer, is you know how to talk to people. You know how to speak, you know how to empathize with people, and you are able to hold a conversation without shying in the corner. You laugh, but these are big things that I see in other classes where schools did not prioritize having a big community in these schools, and these kids shy away, and then they're not able to speak in job interviews or anything going forward because they don't have those soft and personable skills. So take that and market it for yourself because AMSA is doing a very good thing for you.
And just one thing, if you're not a math person, you're worried about the math, My roommate is a business major, and the math he's doing this year is stuff we did in 9th grade here. So like, you're gonna be okay if you don't want to do math.
You're only going to be ahead of the game if you put the work in to be ahead of the game. I took a class in college with a girl who graduated the year after me. We took the same legal course or whatever, and I got a 97 on my paper and she got a 60-something, and her first complaint was, wow, AMSA really failed me. And I kind of looked at her and laughed. I'm like, that's not true because Mr. Smith drilled this into my head. I don't know what you're doing, but you got to put the work in. I cried my way through Mr. Marshall's class, but I passed with an A. I put the work in, he helps me. You have really good teachers here who want to help you and help you excel, but no one's going to chase you around for the rest of your life. So you have to be willing to put in the work yourself and do the effort.
If you're interested in like graduating early or something, that's something totally AMSA can help you with if you just look at that when you're looking at different colleges. Like myself and some of my friends are probably might graduate in 3 years because of all the AP classes, because of little introductory classes that you can kind of skip just because it's stuff that we didn't like all in 8th grade, like intro, like bio courses. It's basically what we did 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. So like just kind of reason through that.
AMSA sets an expectation where I was able to skip a couple classes, like taking like French 4 times at AMSA helped. Didn't have to take a language. Same thing as writing. I do think it's kind of funny though, because I went to AMSA, but then I went and I majored in jazz. So did it help me? You know, not necessarily for what I majored in, but it helped me be a more rounded person. I use it for my job when I'm doing Excel, I code. And I think the things that helped me at AMSA were the tiny sporadic creativity stuff that I did. Like I remember in Mr. Vital's class, I did a rap about the brain anatomy to Biggie Smalls. And then when I went and I took I actually took a neuroscience class, and we were doing the things that we had already learned about at AMSA. AMSA used to have a club, they would do clubs, and I did one club called Slam Poetry, and that has stuck with me. I still do that. I actually won a poetry competition in college. So those small, thank you. But yeah, definitely the ability to be creative in an academic setting is what has helped me a lot. You know, it's helped me find my own expressiveness.
So something, you may be able to skip classes, but there are going to be some classes that you cannot skip that you have already learned about. And this is something that is very important to internalize, is to not get frustrated with time that you think you are wasting. There will be courses that you cannot skip. Like for example, I took AP Chem, but then I had to go through the entirety of Intro to Chem again. And that made me incredibly frustrated, but what I didn't realize was that I was able to use that time to do other things socially, especially in terms of clubs, and really get myself established in a place that was completely new, and that is really important. So make sure you internalize that and don't get frustrated with your situation. Don't worry about going fast. It's okay to take a step back and really enjoy the situation that you're in and all of the time that you're about to pass. So.